Another thing that what's new with Rocket is something that happened with me and you recently, which is hilarious and something that we didn't know how to navigate. We went to the outlet, which is near our house recently. We went into Rituals, which is like a lovely fragrance shop. For those of you at home, for the mums out there, you definitely know what I'm talking about. Rituals, lovely, actually fairly affordable for what it is as well. I have to say, the candles from there, their smells they've got, they're actually really affordable. We go in there. Rocket's in a little push cart.
Oh, yeah.
And we cool. Just hear someone from across the shop go, "Is that Rocket?" I turn around and then this lady walks over. I'm going to go ahead and assume she was from the Philippines. Sorry, I think she was from the Philippines. And she went, "That's Rocket, isn't it?" And me and Jamie looked at each other and we were like, "How the fuck do we navigate this? Rocket's been recognised!" Shh, don't tell Mum. Hello and welcome to Don't Tell Mum. My name's Barney.
And I'm Jamie.
And this is the third most listened to parenting podcast in
Estonia.
Estonia.
I still need a globe.
My friend that I used to live with, Ollie, right? He did a job in Estonia and they shut down the entire capital city to film this advert for Sony for the headphones.
Can't be that big then if they're going to shut down the whole.
But I mean, it's Sony. In America, I've seen them like shut down like portions of New York to film Batman and stuff. Yeah. How much money must that cost?
I was walking through when they were doing James Bond in
Whereabouts?
The city. It was in the city.
In London?
In London.
Damn.
Yeah. And they were like cutting off sections for that on roads.
Imagine how much money it must cost to shut down a road.
But it's probably cheaper doing that than building a whole entire set of fakeness.
Yeah, I think that as well. That's why a lot of film companies go out to like Bulgaria, Estonia, because actually building the sets out there are significantly cheaper. Imagine how much money gets when you hear companies spending 400 million to make a James Bond film. You must half the time you think to yourself, where does that money go? And actually, you think about it and you go, I'm surprised it doesn't cost more half the time.
Exactly.
Robert Downey Jr.'s fee for Avengers was like 50 million and they made the film for probably a couple of $100 million at least. But I'm like, half of that money seems to go on the actor's payroll.
It does. And I don't know how they get it back. That's what baffles me. Because insane. I guarantee you, like being a musician and like earning money through my music, if it goes through a label, I never see that money.
Yeah.
Annoyingly. But you get more word of mouth. You know what? I paid £100 to get PR for Blanco y Negra and they haven't done anything with the record. So I need to get that money back.
Oh, get that money back. Well, speaking of you were in Miami.
I was in Miami. Welcome to Miami.
And you were there for your birthday. You were there on your ones.
I did.
I didn't get to spend your birthday with you.
A little corporate job with Musica. And it was great. But at the same time, I felt like I didn't really get
What did you do on your birthday? What did you do? Talk us through the day.
Okay, so I woke up and then I went to town. Did I go work out? Yeah, I did a little workout and then I grabbed my rucksack and I was like, right, I'll do some content. Ended up not doing any content.
Lovely.
Walked to the shopping mall.
What was the weather like?
Amazing, blue skies. Only on the last day when I was there, it was overcast.
Lovely.
And that was when the eclipse happened, but I got a good picture of the eclipse.
Okay, yeah, because obviously in the UK, my dad messaged me going, "Why is it so dark?" And I looked outside and was like, what's he talking about? Is he talking about the eclipse? And I looked. Dad had fallen asleep on the sofa and woken up, looked at his phone, and it was 9, and he thought it was 9 a.m. And he was like, "Why is it so dark at 9 a.m.?" I was like, "Dad, you're such a donut. Go to bed."
So cute. So basically, I got a picture of the eclipse, which was cool, but that wasn't on my birthday. Went to the shopping mall. I was like, I need clothes. I find myself as an adult now holding back buying nice things. And funnily enough, when I was looking up buying a bikini for our Egypt trip, I was like, right, I want to see if there's any cool eco-friendly, products. Like I have these leggings that are made of plastic bottles, but this company made a really good point of doing that. And it was like, after they've turned, you can recycle plastic bottles into other plastic bottles and other plastic things. Yeah. Whereas once they turn them into clothing, it will literally go into the landfill after you're done with it.
That's it. They can't change it back into anything plastic.
Yeah, technically it's not good doing that, but you can actually do eco-friendly stuff from fishing nets and things like that. That's better because it's actually biodegradable.
So on paper, it sounds like a clothing company are doing the utmost when they're like, when it's not this is recycled from plastic bottles, was actually it's possibly in the future, long term, it's bad.
Exactly. So I was trying to find...
No one can do anything right.
eco-friendly clothes. Went to the shop and they had beautiful linen pieces and this amazing hat. I've always wanted like a cool hat with like stitching on the lines. It's kind of like a cool design for our Egypt trip and Au Bira, where we're staying. And it was like £250, and I just couldn't, for the sake of me, think of spending.
For a bikini?
No, for a hat.
Oh, for a hat?
Yeah, I couldn't spend that.
Yeah, too right. You're not allowed to spend that on a hat.
I know, it was a beautiful hat.
Jeez.
Right? And but didn't you buy a really nice hat for me in South Africa when you went?
I did. I bought you a cowboy hat.
Yeah.
Where's that?
That was expensive. It's in my wardrobe.
I think it was the equivalent of 60 quid, which in South Africa is a lot. So that's like spending 400 quid on something.
Yeah, so this was crazy. And then I noticed that every little thing in Miami is so expensive to the point where I was just like,
very touristy, that's why.
I'm not going to spend that. I'm not an idiot, to be honest. I love it, but it's not worth, like, these trousers and this hat, etc. They're not worth £250 for a two-piece.
Yeah.
So I think I'm just being a little bit more cautious with our income.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're freelance as well, so we've got to think about
You
when
just
is
always
the
got
next
to be on
paycheck
top of
coming
finances. Yeah, I think as a freelance, you've always just got to be mindful.
Providing. And I'd rather that money go to experiences with the family together, because I find I really struggle with it. No, just like my mental capacity of spending that kind of money. I'd rather spend a big chunk on one beautiful dress, and that's a piece that is timeless and I can use for years to come.
Like your Dolce dress.
Yeah, exactly.
Love
that was a really, really big piece for me, and I felt really proud buying that myself. I was like, oh my God, I earned this, which was so nice. Whereas if I bought something for 250 quid and it's nothing, it will probably fall apart. I did that actually once.
Quid.
Yeah, and I did it in Marbella, and then went on one wash, and then it all like
I think I remember. Away. I remember I was talking about it and you showing me. Jeez. Okay, so let's talk about what's new with Rocket. You've been away for a few days, so let me fill you in, Jamie.
Yeah, because I have been away.
You have. So basically, we had his first ever Domino's pizza last night. I was like, let's do pizza night with the boys.
Did he like it?
He did. I basically ordered like a family, a little meal deal so it comes with a pizza, a garlic bread, and Domino's cookies, which are in the fridge, by the way, waiting for you. Love those. We can put them in the oven later.
I'm so jet lagged, by the way.
Yeah. So basically, Rocket, like the garlic bread you get from Domino's is actually like a mini pizza. It's like a little circular with cheese and garlic on it and stuff. So I was like, right, that's his pizza. Gave that to him. And he sat there happily chewing on it, having a great time. We were watching a bit of TV. And then I looked at him after watching the TV for 10 minutes. And he was just like, his eyes were going. And he was like, slowly starting to and I was like,
what time?
So this is at like 6:15. And the reason is because it basically put him into a carb coma. You know when you eat loads of pizza or loads of pasta and you're suddenly like, oh my God,
that's why he woke up, because he was so thirsty.
It was so fun. And then exactly, he woke up at 5 a.m. this morning.
Probably crying because he was so thirsty.
But I left a water bottle by his bed for that exact reason, because pizza makes me thirsty. Anyway, so that's
he drink
like
the water?
A portion of what's new with Rocket. Yeah, he did. He got up at 5 a.m. and was crying.
But he probably didn't even realise what that emotion was, or that feeling of...
Yeah, he'd never had like salty pizza that's then woken him up in the night.
Because that's so much salt.
It honestly is, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that's partially what's new with Rocket. Another thing what's new with Rocket is something that happened with me and you recently, which is hilarious and something that we didn't know how to navigate. We went to the outlet, which is near our house recently. We went into Rituals, which is like a lovely fragrance shop. For those of you at home, for the mums out there, you definitely know what I'm talking about. Rituals, lovely, actually fairly affordable for what it is as well. I have to say, the candles from there, their smells they've got, they're actually really affordable. We go in there. Rocket's in a little push cart.
Oh yeah,
and we just hear someone from across the shop go, "Is that Rocket?" And me and you looked at each other.
It wasn't
and
across the shop.
Wait,
they were like literally next to us.
Hold the phone. Yeah, but this is better for the story, Jamie. And then I turn around, and then this lady walks over. I'm going to go ahead and assume she was from the Philippines. Sorry, I think she was from the Philippines. And she went, "That's Rocket, isn't it?" And me and Jamie looked at each other and we were like, how the fuck do we navigate this? Rocket's been recognised. What's going to happen?
First time ever.
Oh my, as a whole family getting recognised. So funny. And she was like, I follow you guys on TikTok. And the whole shop, like everyone stopped what they were doing and just turned and looked at us. And I looked at Jamie and was like, do we leave the shop? Like, what should we do?
And then he had a blowout.
And then he had a meltdown.
Meltdown.
Literally like it was clockwork. And I just like...
And I spent £100 in rituals after that because I felt so
did.
bad. I was like, okay, I'll buy that.
I'll buy everything.
that. I'll buy that.
But it begs the question of like, whenever people talk to us about social media and about, your fans and stuff, and I'm like, I always get really like a recoil in horror a little bit when someone says
we just
the
like
word
making content.
fans.
But you know what? Also, I got a bit upset because some people, because we have kids on content. It's a bit of a controversy behind that, and I thought to myself, we haven't changed anything about our lives from having a baby. We have kept everything authentic. We made content before the baby was around, and we've consistently done it. We love it. We enjoy it. We enjoy our life. We enjoy making content, and that's why we do it, because we enjoy it. End of. We wouldn't do it. If we didn't enjoy it, we wouldn't do it. And if you notice, if you go on my TikTok turn off, you'll notice I'm not posting as much as I used to anymore. Why? Because I'm not enjoying it as much as I used to. Some months I feel the need to post because I am actually enjoying it. Like I love doing TikTok dances. Yeah. So I'm always like, let's do a TikTok dance. Let's. And it actually brings me so much joy doing that. Whereas me sitting down and editing a video for hours and hours, at this point in time in my life, I'm not enjoying it. So I'm not doing it as much. That is not exploiting your child in my eyes.
I guess that we're just kind of following suit of how
we navigated it beforehand.
How our day-to-day lives were before we had Rocket. It was just a continuation of that, like maintaining the YouTube channel and our short-form content that we do as well. Is it's just something that we've always done, and I feel like being recognised while we were out was a really
You've
odd
had that
sensation.
before,
No, but us out as a family and like how to react to it, and to be honest, that person was really lovely. But I've had the question before from people of, how do you manage the kind of emotions of people either recognizing you or having like a fan base? And I've always thought, I don't feel like I have that because there's no face-to-face interaction with people on a daily basis. But if we took this podcast like on tour, let's say we took it on tour, or we went and did a live venue, and
which we're trying to do actually,
and we sold tickets and we sold it out, then I feel like I would feel like we had fans.
Yeah.
But because fans are kind of anonymous, aren't they, on social media? People comment, and people write to us or they email us. It's thebankses@gmail.com if you want to talk to us about the podcast. But I don't feel like you can't put a face to it. If we actually saw the people that follow us or support us throughout these content, it would be such a weird sensation, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but that's like with everything. Like being a pop star, you can imagine.
Yeah.
Like you're going to have weird people kind of watching your content sometimes, and sometimes there has been a time.
Did you say weird people?
No, there has been a time where we've been on social media and we've had a comment that's been a bit like, oh, and we've gone on the profile and it's freaked us out a little bit of people watching our content.
Yeah, I think one of the weird ones was when we were in like McDonald's and someone was like, I can see you. That was a weird one.
I know, that was
remember
fucking weird.
We were like, what? You can see us? That's so scary. And Jamie I've never seen her intrinsically shut down a little bit, and Jamie was like, and then I feel like Jamie felt like she was being watched. So then we decided to leave.
Should we go?
And then we realised it was kids. It was literally like a bunch of 8-year-olds.
Yeah,
who were
waving at us on their bikes.
It was cute.
It was so cute. And I thought to myself, I was like, well, that's a moment. And that was us with our family again.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of...
But I think it's because we weren't with Rocket, whereas that time in the outlet, we were with Rocket, and then they just were like, is that Rocket? Where we've never had that before. That was
him being
wild.
recognised over kind of us was a bit random, wasn't it?
But at the end of the day, what I'm trying to say about that is like, we're just authentic. We just create content because we enjoy it. And what you'll see as I'm now 36, you will see that I'm only going to create things because I'm enjoying it. I know times will be hard at times, but we keep consistent with our content. What are we doing for our YouTube channel this week? Have we got anything planned?
We're going to do something.
We're going to do questions or something.
I filmed a bit of stuff while you were away, of like just hanging out with Rocket, doing father and son things, but like not enough to make a full video. So maybe it'll be like an amalgamation of things from the last 4 or 5 days.
Maybe we'll do like a question
Q&A.
podcast, a Q&A on the sofa,
Q&A.
and then we'll like dip into like us
being away and stuff like that. That's cool. By the way, if we did do a live tour of this podcast, don't don't you think, because I've spoken to people about this before, don't you think we have like the perfect resumes for it? We honestly do. Like, presenting experience is what I've got. So being on stage and like doing the whole interaction with the crowd and stuff, and all the audio engineering background that you've got. Don't you feel like we have the absolute perfect resumes to do a live show? You could DJ as people walked in. We could open the show with like a musical number.
Yeah.
Then I could go into the crowd and talk to people. Like, we have the resumes for a live show.
Yeah. 100%. And I really, really
Have you thought about what you would do?
I can see us definitely doing a live show. 100%.
Because I feel like we turn it into more of like a show rather than two people walking out on stage, sitting down and doing a live podcast, which I know is what people would assume. But if you're doing a live show, you got to make it showy.
I'm very proud of you right now because you're bringing the energy and I'm so jealous.
You're a depressing lump of like carbs over there. What's going on?
Actually, to be honest, I feel pretty sane compared to the fact that in the last... I've done 2 gigs abroad and they were different to anything I've ever done. Like, guys, I did a live set with singers and to the whole shabam. I felt like I was DJing the whole thing. I did the whole set list for the band. I did the whole track list for the band. You
had a lot more responsibility on the
so
gig,
much more responsibility than I ever had before. And then the second day was a completely different show. So I did 2 completely different back-to-back shows. It was my birthday as well. I didn't have a touch of alcohol away, which was crazy.
No alcohol on your
no
birthday.
alcohol on my birthday.
God.
And I literally hadn't really slept because of the jet lag. So I'd finish work at like 1 a.m, go to sleep. My body clock would wake me up at like 6 a.m, 7 a.m, and then I'd do it all again. And then obviously flew back last night and had 4 hours. So in my aura has said I've had 16 hours sleep in the space of 4 days. 16 hours.
God, so are you literally going to bed when we get home?
No, I don't know because I've got to edit the podcast.
You do indeed.
In the plane.
Oh damn.
Yeah.
So
it's fine.
We got to provide a little bit of context for something that happened recently.
Oh God.
A couple of days ago, I posted a video in the car when I was up visiting my dad up north, and I was sat in the car, and Rocket woke up from a nap. And he was going like, "Where's mummy?" And I was like, "Oh, this is funny. He's just woken up. He's in a daze."
Should we give context of why,
That's what
though?
I'm doing, though. Yeah.
Okay, because I was on a work call.
But before that, he's going through a mummy phase at the moment. He really is. So he's very like, "Mummy, I want mummy." Like, he's just in that phase at the moment. He really is. He's like, "Mummy." Like,
that's how he talks.
And especially when he's tired, he wants mummy. Okay, that's just the phase he's in. Sorry, continue. And then what were we doing?
And we were dropping his dad off at the spa, and the reason why I came with them was because the internet is so bad where his dad lives. Like you just can't get any Wi-Fi.
Can't do a FaceTime. You literally
Even the Wi-Fi is so bad. You just can't work there. It's proper detox when you go down.
It's like an escape, countryside, blah blah blah.
Just leave your phone at the door because it's not going to work anyway. So I said, guys, I'm going to come with you and jump on their Wi-Fi, so at least I won't be like.
Yeah. So you went into the cafe.
So I went into the cafe,
Yep.
but I was going to do it in the car, but Rocket was asleep. So I was like, let's not wake him up. I will go in. So I went in.
And I just sat in the car with Rocket while he slept.
Went on and on.
Oh, your meeting.
My meeting. Your dad came out before I did.
He did. And so I'm sitting in the car with Rocket. He's asleep behind me. He starts waking up and he starts going, "Mummy." So I film myself with him behind going like, "Dad's here." And he's like, "Where's mummy?" And
did you think it would be that funny?
I just thought this is a funny video, like, and I'll just edit it on the TikTok app and just be like, "Yeah, cool," and I'll post it. I had nothing to post that day.
Did you see
so
what I'm telling you though?
Yeah, when you post random shit.
No,
or like,
when you edit things, I'm not kidding you. When you edit things on TikTok, it like rewards you for that.
You think that it went viral because it was done and edited
because
on
when
TikTok?
I edited that video of us, the wiggle one, on TikTok.
Okay.
And then it got 8.1 million
Well, currently
views.
my video is sitting on just over 4 million views, right, on this particular TikTok. I posted it, everything was fine, and then the comments section started lighting me up. And basically they were just saying like, A, a lot of them was, "Where's the mum?" Like, and B is, "Why are you filming? Why haven't you got out of the car and got him out of his seat and are cuddling him?" Right. So, and the context that I wanted to give, and funnily enough, the context that I did put in the caption of the video was,
they don't
he's just
read
woken
the
up.
caption though.
He's just woken up.
And
so he's in his seat and he's just woken up and he's going, "Mummy." And I'm like, "Who's your favourite?" And he goes, "Grandpops." And I'm like, "Oh my God, can you just say that you love your daddy?" That's all I'm looking for. Fishing for compliments.
So Gabby joined TikTok, my mate, and she was on Love Island, and she doesn't even put captions on her videos. She puts just 2 hashtags and that's it.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Why don't you put captions?" She's just like, "Because you don't need to."
and people don't bloody read them.
They don't read them.
Because they never
So
read
they're
them for
not reading
context.
the context of the text
Mate,
that you've put underneath there.
And the amount of people that watch
There's
a
me,
video,
like, doing an essay.
One video of yours can go viral, and then people will assume that that's like your entire shtick. So I'm posting this video, and then all the people that have obviously just watched that one video, who are then trying to light me up in the comments, thank you, by the way, for the people that did this. People went into the comments and were commenting on the comments, defending me. And it was so funny.
I love it when they're like, somebody's gone, oh, she's so sad. And somebody's like, it's a he.
It's a boy.
His name is Rocket. And then somebody will be like, his name is Rocket. Or is that a name because they put their child on social media, which is really bad, by the way. And they're like, no, their child is called Rocket. It's so funny. But you really see, when you get those comments, you really see the way people think. It's
the way people think, and also how people jump to conclusions.
We're so different
fast.
as human race. We're such a different type of breed. Like, all of us are so different, which is beautiful, but also it's kind of crazy because in your own little mind, in your own little world, in your own little family, you think, oh, this is how everyone thinks. And it's not. It's
the
not
amount
the
of people
same.
that commented going, like, you're clearly just like a really bad dad and stuff. And then people went for them in the comments. Like, have you even watched any of his other videos? Like, you're an idiot. And so people watch one video and comment and leave.
No, there was
and that
one.
happens a lot.
There was one on there that killed me. And it was just
God.
like, he's obviously not a present dad. He's the child's used to their mother.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, I was like, he's so more present because I'm the one always having to work
Yeah,
abroad.
you're away a lot, but like for good reason. Like, we have a great balance at home. Right, we both work as freelancers, so there are occasions in life where you're super busy and you go away, or you fly somewhere for work for a few days, and vice versa. Like, it's the same thing.
I don't think we could do it without our parents, though.
Oh no, our parents are super helpful.
We had a guest on last week, and she was talking about how she's going to have her family support network, and they're doing kind of like similar to what we're doing with like a next door house for their parents. And I feel like that's the only way, because it takes a village to raise a child.
It does. I feel like, especially when structure in your life is limited, like, so for us, we don't have a huge amount of structure with our careers because we can be uprooted and, sent to America for a week.
I got a call before
I
I left on the way to the airport, and they're like, Jamie, can you fly to Mexico tonight? And I literally was like,
jeez.
No, I have to go home. I've got to record 2 podcasts. And they were like, really good opportunity. I was like, yeah, but my opportunity lies with my child right now.
But isn't it mad that that's why what our lives are like and what they were like before kids? Before kids,
no,
it'd be
it's way worse now. I am
can you go
traveling
now?
way more than I've ever traveled before.
Really?
But work-wise, I think, yeah, definitely. Like, I've definitely taken the rounds of, hey, I need to earn a living now. And I don't procrastinate as much. It's so funny when my friends stand around and I've been so busy today. And I'm like, really? How busy have you actually been?
Are you poo-pooing other people?
No, but we don't stop.
Yeah, we don't stop.
We do not stop. But when I was without child, and you know what I did is when I was in Miami.
Did you say when I was without child?
Without child. When I was in Miami without our child,
I
literally laid there and I thought, I don't want to do
I don't need to do
now.
anything. I don't want to do anything.
I want to scroll on my phone and watch shit.
I actually did that one night and I felt so guilty. On Saturday night, so a couple of nights ago, I was just sat and I think I scrolled TikTok for like 2.5 hours, and I was like, I like threw my phone across the room and was like, 2 hours has just gone by. It's 10:30 now.
You could have been doing loads of stuff.
Doing other things? No, I was scrolling and it was great.
So
and I had a great time.
I did the exact same thing in Miami.
Afterwards, I was like, oh my God, I don't need to scroll anymore now. I'm done. I'm going to go and do something else. But before we obviously mentioned that it was your birthday while you were away, and before you went away, we had like a little dinner with a couple of people.
We still need to do a shot, don't we?
We had a little dinner.
Birthday.
Yeah, we do birthday shot. We had a little dinner with your friends out. And this is something I wanted to talk to you about. Are we old? Do you feel like we're old? Are we old?
I mean, everyone was on the same path.
We were at a restaurant that we were really enjoying. Like, we had food, everyone was hanging out and stuff. And the amount of times that us and your friends were saying that the music was too loud. After like the 5th time, I was like, we're so fucking old. Like the amount of times that we were looking at each other going, is the music too loud? I think the music's too loud. Should we move? Should we go somewhere else? Should we go upstairs? I think the music's too loud.
And this is like with this is with my party friends. Like
you're a
weird.
DJ.
This is with my friends who like a party. Like we go out, we'll make an occasion where we're like, right, we're with them. We're gonna have 2 days off of parenting because we're gonna actually go out and enjoy ourselves. And we were all on the same level of we just want to have a really nice dinner, a glass of wine, and then go home. Like a very civil birthday. It was completely different to any other birthday. Actually, last year I didn't have a birthday because we were away for my birthday. And then this year we are going to Egypt next week. Woo! Which will be so much fun.
Yeah, we're going to go to Egypt.
Do a TikTok dance again. Do a day of it TikToking.
Very, very chilled vacation.
How long did we go to Morocco for?
I think we did a week, didn't we? Did we do 7 days or did we do 6?
No, I think we did 5 again. I think
yeah,
like
so
Egypt.
we're doing something similar. We're going to Egypt for about 5 days.
Yeah.
Is
it 5 nights?
4 nights, 5 days, I think. We saw a video. I saw a video the other day. I told Jamie about it and she was like, oh, don't worry about it. And it came up on my feed again yesterday. And I've saved it this time. And it is a tiger shark swimming up to the beach. Like, to the beach.
What, in Egypt?
In Egypt, where we're staying. And it scares shit out of me. Do you know why? Because tiger sharks are the most aggressive shark in the world. They attack humans the most.
Oh my
and this
gosh.
fucking tiger shark swims, like, almost onto the beach.
Wow.
Which is unheard of.
Yeah.
Sharks shouldn't do that. So I'm shit scared now. And I don't know if I want to go to Egypt. So can you, like, calm me down a
Okay,
little bit?
well, we don't have to go in the sea. We can go to
But
the
we
beach.
should.
To be honest,
We're
I don't
literally-
like the sea when it's so sandy and windy. Like yesterday, I sat on the beach and I was watching the eclipse and the wind was going and everything was getting sandy. And I was like, it's just not enjoyable. And I'm looking
don't like
around
getting
and
sandy
people.
on the beach.
Yeah, I like the fact that there's
You're
less,
so old.
less wind. I know, but you
We're
just
so
get comfortable.
old.
You get comfortable with, like, you know, the balance of life.
I don't like it when it's sandy on the beach.
It's true.
The place where all the sand is.
Oh, shush.
Jamie. Oh, do you know what, though? Good thing for us, I think the hotel that we're staying in is literally on the beach. So we can go to the beach, potter around, you know, tickle the tiger sharks, and then go back to our swimming pool.
I can't wait to just lay there and get a nice little tan. I'm actually burnt on my arms, and it wasn't that
Oh,
sunny
boo-hoo,
yesterday.
you were in Miami. Oh,
I
no.
haven't slept in 14 hours, Barney Banks.
I don't give a flying fuck.
Saying that, you haven't
I had
slept
a child
either.
for 4 days.
What time did you go to bed last night? What time did you fall
I
asleep?
actually went to bed slightly earlier than I went to bed at 9:30.
That's not why I'm asking. When
Funnily
did you
enough.
fall asleep?
Yeah, I think about 10:30, maybe closer to 11.
11, and then what time did you wake up?
5. He woke up
Brilliant.
at 5 this
12,
morning.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's still 6 hours.
I know, like, which isn't that bad, but when you're used to him waking up at
Maybe.
7 and he wakes up 2 hours earlier, that extra 2 hours is a killer.
Some people are like, I need 9 hours sleep. And I'm like, I wish we were at the time of 9 hours sleep. I haven't had 9 hours sleep for 2 years.
But I will tell you one thing. That I have experienced now and are starting to realise more as a parent. Something that I wanted to talk to you about very briefly before we end this episode, because it's, you know, we're just chilling on this one.
No. We haven't even spoken about the fact that what's new with Rocket. Also, we've just ordered an Emma mattress. His single bed.
I know, it's arrived.
Has it arrived?
It's arrived in his room, right. But
I don't think he's ready
let's
yet,
not
though.
jump the gun.
No,
yeah, with
I
that.
don't want to.
Him going into
It's
a bed
nice to have it
is going to
just
be
in
a
case.
shit show.
Yeah, it's just nice to have the mattress there ready to go because we've got this bed from Maison du Monde, and what it is, it's a it's actually really
It's
incredible.
like an all-in-one kind of
It has a
changing station, cot, storage, cupboards, blah, blah, blah.
Then when the baby gets big enough, you can take it apart and then the storage becomes just a separate storage unit and then it's a single bed. So you just put the mattress on a single bed. So you don't have to go and spend...
Yeah, it
on
turns into a single bed, basically.
And it was
then
the
you get rid
same
of the storage.
price as a cot. So we really saved
Yeah.
there. Bought this mattress and... because the other day he nearly climbed out of the bed. So it made us think, shit, when he does that, it's not about length and him being too long. It's about him being unsafe, climbing out and like breaking his...
landing on the floor. Yeah, my mum said that as soon as the first time I'd climbed out of my cot, every night I was just like suplexing off the top rope.
Yeah, they do that.
And just diving onto the floor.
Because you know what I noticed he did the other day? I was like in the morning, came in, about to change him, and he went to the side where the nappy changer pulled himself up onto that, so he can pull himself up now. And and it's got those shelves underneath, so that's like a step ladder for him to then shimmy down.
God.
So it is close. I would give it You said the
I
other
think
day.
it'd be a couple of weeks.
Yeah, you said a couple of weeks.
Well, because he's nearly climbed out. So like, I walked into his room one time and he was like wanting to get out of the cot and he had a leg up. And I was like, oh no, it's literally a matter of days. But he hasn't clocked it yet still. The thing is, as soon as we give him a bed, like we've been experiencing since we removed the dummy from his life, he finds it harder to get to sleep, which is totally understandable because the dummy was a comfort for him. So every time we put him to bed, leave the room, I go into my office, which is like down the hallway, and I just wait because I know he's going to get up. And he gets up in his bed. He can reach the light switch, so he turns the light on in his room and then starts going at the corner of his bed, like trying to signal me to go in there.
I wish
and
the
I
room
give
was
it
big
5
enough
minutes
to have it like just in the center.
away from it, yeah. And then I give it 5 minutes, and then after 5 minutes is up, if he's still like grizzly, I go in, turn the light off, cuddle him for a bit, and then put him down. That's the process right now. If he had a bed and not a cot, he would be out of the bed, door open, run down the hallway into my room, and it would be a nightmare.
Yeah.
So I think that a logical step possibly is to put a baby gate across his door, so he can open the door, stand by the baby gate, and be
Just
like,
put a hook,
but
like what you had. Well, I had a hook when I was younger, so I couldn't open the door. And then Mum said so many times I'd come into your room and you'd be on the floor asleep.
yeah, exactly. I'd just be on the floor. So
I know, but Jesse has the same thing. Your nephew.
I know. I didn't like it.
No, I
don't want him
know,
locked
but
in his room.
unfortunately it's for safety. And we have baby gates on all the stairs anyway, so he can't get to the stairs.
We do indeed. But
And
I
they're
mean, if you have
special
any
material
suggestions or
ones.
any new tech that's come about to keep kids in their rooms that's maybe like a bit more like friendly or
I've
whatever,
heard the clock's really good.
it's
Like,
thebanksters@gmail.com
yeah.
with 2 S's.
Give us some emails. We love an email. But honestly, the clock, there's this clock that kids have and it tells you when to wake up.
It's like a sunrise clock. So when it hits a certain time and you're like, right, it's time for them to get up, the sun... Like
it's from Tommy
the
Tippy.
light turns on, right?
It's from
Tommy
Tippy.
So it's the same thing as like the glow egg thing.
Yeah, it's
with the
exactly
temperature.
the same as Tommy. So I would contact Tommy Tippy.
Tommy Tippy. Could they be the first sponsor on the Don't Tell Mom podcast?
Oh my God, that would be cool. That would be really cool.
Get all the baby brands involved. Why not? What's your ideal brand to
work with
to sponsor this pod?
I still
Be
think
careful.
the Docatot was amazing.
Docatot.
I liked that because like he felt safe.
It's
it was
very
a nice,
bougie as well,
when we
wasn't
went to our friends and we'd go for a few drinks or something. We'd have the Docatot and he could go lie in the Docatot when we put him down.
Yeah.
It was like a portable
bed, yeah.
And it looked nice.
It was bougie.
It was bougie.
very
I don't
nice.
think it's worth the amount
150
that it
quid,
is.
wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
It was a lot.
But it was a gift from us. I mean, it was a gift for us. So we didn't actually buy it, but I thought it was great. I loved the Docatot as an item.
I think it makes sense if Pampers were the first sponsor of this podcast. That would make the most sense to me, or possibly Mamia, because Mamia just covers everything. That's the Aldi baby product thing, right? They do nappies, they do food, they do so much stuff.
Exactly.
And it's good value.
And Pampers do the best wipes, though.
They do, but they don't market them that much, do they? Like I've never seen an
freaking good.
ad or sponsor.
I love the wipes. I
wipes.
honestly think they're wet enough. They don't dry out when they're like, because like
You leave them
unfortunately
open
with
and stuff,
Mamia,
yeah.
it dries out
They do
really
get dry.
quickly. Whereas Pampers and the texture as well. And one thing I've noticed is some wipes, like you'll wipe and you kind of like break
leave a
through.
mark.
No, you can break through the
Oh,
wipe
right, as in your
almost.
finger goes through the
Yeah, and it's like for instance, paper roll, tissue roll.
Yeah, tissue.
You have to have a ply of literally three. And I remember when I moved into my first place on my own with you. That was the first time I ever lived on my. Actually, no, I'd lived on my own before, but
What,
the
in
first
Crystal
time,
Palace, bruv?
yeah, the first time we actually like bought our own things, etc. And I got a two-piece tissue.
Two-ply.
Two-ply
Double
tissue.
ply.
And my dad came over and he went, "Why did you get a two?" And I went, "What's a two-ply?" I had no idea.
Yeah, you have
These
to-
are the
I know,
things that
you
you
learn
learn. Like
as
you
an
would never.
adult.
Yeah, you would
Adulting.
never.
Woo!
And then now I'd be at the shops going, "Okay, let me look at it." But then you know what I've started doing? It sounds so ridiculous. I've started buying more in bulk because underneath it tells you what the unit is actually worth.
Per price,
Per
per
price.
unit. Price per
I'm
unit,
getting
yeah.
so old. I'm doing
We're
all the
so
old
old.
things.
I didn't have a Tesco's club card the other day when we were buying stuff at Tesco's. Jamie unleashed on me, like, why don't you have a club card?
Yeah.
You have to buy a club
It's
card.
so
And I was like,
good, though.
we're so old.
You choose the club card.
But it is true. I saw the club card situation with like
You can
how they
download it on
price
the app.
stuff. It is a joke. Like the club card price is actually actually a normal price, and then they ramp up the price
don't think it
to
is.
basically punish people that
Because
don't
they
have a
have
club card.
Aldi match on
I know,
Tesco.
but as in Tesco's would sell their normal price is their club card price, and then like a freaking massive tub of coffee from like Kenco. It's like £7 without a club card.
I know, it's so
I'm
ridiculous.
Like, how could you sell a tub of coffee for £7?
But saying that, like I was just in the
Instant.
States, how expensive things were.
Is it mad?
Unless you go to Target. Like Target is the greatest
Or
shop.
Walmart, right?
They have everything, and it's like really good stuff. Like I bought an Apple Watch for $250 and it's £400
Whoa.
in the UK.
That's so much cheaper.
And it's the
half,
same one. It
basically.
was a Series 9 GPS one.
Ooh.
And
Bougie.
the reason why I got it for my dad as a gift.
Yeah.
If you were part of the Target circle, for all the American listeners out there, you literally just go on, log in, like add your email, data, selling data.
That's right.
And I got knocked off that amount. I think it was marketed at $350, so it's already $50 cheaper.
Yeah.
But then you joining the circle, the Target circle, I got it for $250.
Target circle.
Mad.
God.
Just joining
the inner
it.
circle. Welcome, Jamie.
And funnily enough, when I
Sell us
got to
your soul.
when I got to the service, like the desk, like to buy it, she was just like, I said, how do I log into the circle to get my barcode? She was like, what's the circle? So they don't actually physically advertise it.
Did you see that in America, in Walmart, they're going to start in the self-service checkout machines? They're going to get you to pay to use them. You have to pay a monthly subscription fee in order to be able to self-service your checkout in Walmart.
I know, it's so ridiculous.
How mental
speed it
is
up.
that? Apparently, as well in America, self-service checkouts have been asking for tips. At the
Yeah.
end, it asks if you want a tip.
Yeah.
I'm doing it myself. I'm doing your job, and you're asking for a tip. What?
It had that when I had a cocktail the other day, and I could buy it on my phone.
A cocktail?
Yeah, I had a cocktail in
Oh, I thought you
Soho
said you didn't
House.
drink when you were in
No, that was
America.
That was yesterday. I had a pina colada.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
On my own. That's really fun. Anyway, had a pina colada.
Sad,
and
isn't it?
and then it asked me for a tip, but it also charges service charge, and I was like, is it service charge and tip the same thing?
A pina
How
colada,
weird.
the friendliest of drinks. You get an umbrella, you get
did
banana,
get an
coconut,
umbrella.
you know, all that stuff, and just sat there by yourself drinking it.
I was on my
The
own.
most sociable of drinks.
And then
pina
a guy
colada.
came over, and he was.
Oh, I bet he did. Go on, what happened?
No, he was.
Tell me.
He turned around. He went, "You can order anything except coffee, and we're not doing coffee at the moment." I was like, "Well, thank God I didn't want a coffee. I'll have a pina colada." And then he went, "Well, for you, you can have a coffee." I was like,
Oh, you big
"Oh, that's
flirt.
sweet." But
You big flirt.
yeah, I mean, to be honest, oh my God, that was a funny thing, because remember we spoke about this on the last, I think it was 2 pods ago. We spoke about classes, like first classes, not having babies.
We talked about how on aeroplanes should kids be allowed in business and first
In
class.
business and first. Anyway, so I was in premium economy flying back.
Bougie.
And I walk on, and there's a 1-year-old that's sitting literally next to me.
Wow. His
And
own seat.
I walked in, and I was like, "Oh, I have a 2-year-old," having the conversation, and then there was the father and mother were sitting in the centre, and there was 2 seats next to each of them. I was sitting on the
This
left.
is row 4.
Yeah, row 4. And then a guy came in, and he saw the baby, and his face dropped.
Oh, no.
And the mother went, "Oh my God, your face dropped."
Oh,
She said to him, she was an
no.
Irish woman, and she was like, "Your face dropped." When he went, "No, it's fine, it's fine." And she was like, "I'm sure he'll be good. I'm sure he'll be good."
Oh.
And she was
Parents
so
have-
panicked.
Parents have so
and
much
I was like,
pressure on
thinking
them
to
when
myself, I was like,
flying.
"Oh, we really struggle to travel without worrying about other people."
Yeah.
And it should be the other way around.
People should be
because
accommodating.
We should be accommodating, because it's so hard for parents when they
Really
travel with their
is.
child. So if you guys are listening to this podcast and you don't have any kids, just be accommodating. Be that person to make them feel comfortable.
Yeah,
Because
be a bit
I literally
sympathetic.
was, when I walked in, I was like, "Don't worry, I have a 2-year-old. I fit." And she went, Did you make the awful decision of flying with your child this young?"
Yeah.
And I went, "Yep, we went to Bali."
We did.
But she didn't seem shocked by that. She went, "Oh, okay." "And was he okay?" I said he had a little cry at the beginning, and funnily enough, that kid only had a little cry at the beginning, and then the white noise knocked him out.
Nice.
So it was fine, because it was a red eye.
Yeah, I'd say be sympathetic to parents who are travelling with little kids, especially really little ones, because, you know, they're not travelling with a kid to fuck up your travels.
Yeah.
Like I've seen like young guys and whatever make TikToks and make social media like, oh, the one thing I hate is having to fly with a baby like near me and stuff like that. And I'm like, imagine how that parent feels of every time their kid makes any kind of noise, all they hear is like tutting from people in the vicinity. It's like my brother nearly got in a fight on a plane about his kid because it was during COVID times when your kid had to sit still and wear a mask and all that stuff. And he had a toddler and he was like, it's virtually impossible.
Yeah,
but he had to fly.
Even now, though.
He had to fly home. And so it was non-negotiable that he had to travel. And after a while of Jesse kicking off a little bit, someone was tutting or making a comment and my brother just stood up and was like, are we going to have a problem?
Yeah.
Because I have a toddler and the last thing I want to think about...
Was this in America?
On the way from America to the UK.
Yeah. The thing is I feel like it helps when you have an accent. You can get away with way more when you have an accent in America. Oh, my dear Lord. Like... I just opened my mouth.
What did you do when you're in America then? Go on.
I just opened my mouth and people bowed down.
Oh,
That sounded so rude.
Oh, my Jamie, you little slut. How dare you?
Slut. But yeah, it works with the accent because people can. It was so funny. I walked into the band room the other day and they were all American and they turned around and asked me a question. They were like, do you think all Americans are dumb by the way we sound? And I turned around and I went, no. They were like, she's the biggest liar. Oh my God, she's so lying. I was like, no, I'm not lying. My mum's Canadian. It's very similar. Unfortunately, I don't think that at all. But if you don't learn your set list, I'm going to be pissed.
I blame pop culture and movies for that because movies will use dialects and use specific accents in order to try and categorize people. So they'll do a deep South accent to try and make someone sound dumb. So if that character is stupid and they have that accent, you associate stupidity with the accent.
Same with the British one.
So
like
yeah,
Essex.
it's same. Yeah. Whether it's like exactly like an Essex accent or like an accent from up north, like Newcastle accent. Like you have these predetermined associations with certain accents. I think that it's stronger for America for us, and then for Americans, they just don't understand regional accents.
And
in America.
I said the same thing about my accent. When I was even having a conversation with somebody about it who was American, they were like, "You must do so well in the UK because you're really well spoken and people can understand you." And I was like, "No, actually, that's a hinder in radio because they want you to be
regional."
Yeah, they want you to be regional, so people can relate to you. But the problem with my accent is I couldn't actually say my R's. I had a problem with my speech when I was a kid. I had to go to elocution lessons. So we have to go, "What's your wabbit when on the river?" I was like, "Jonathan, what?"
What's your wabbit when on the river?
But honestly, I had years of elocution lessons to get my accent because I don't think I really sound like my mum's Canadian and my dad doesn't really sound like me.
I didn't even know that.
But actually saying that, my dad sounds completely different to how he did sound when he was younger because of his job. He said I had to speak better.
I guess that
for the people that I was dealing with.
Yeah, I guess that people have become a bit more lenient in like the workplace, especially and stuff like so. People don't value accents as much as they used to. If you were well spoken and spoke the Queen's English or whatever it's called,
and you assume they were rich because they spoke like that.
Yeah, there's always, so everyone has predetermined, assumptions made on people based on their accents. But Jamie, Lisa, that concludes our episode of Don't Tell Mum. How are you feeling?
What time is it?
It's time that we leave. Someone needs to come and use the studio.
Oh, we've been pushed out, guys.
I know.
Well, thank you so much for coming back every single week and watching the Don't Tell Mum. Remember, if you do want to watch it, because if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, check us out on YouTube. It's youtube.com/Don't Tell Mum Pod.
It is indeed.
MUM, not MOM.
Don't Tell Mum Pod. Yes, we really enjoy the fact that you guys are coming back, and please do send us an email at itsthebankses@gmail.com. That's itsthebankses with 2 S's at gmail.com, because then we can talk about it live on the pod.
We're actually going to talk about it live, literally live.
Literally live. Are we making an announcement right now?
No,
or
not
are we
yet.
Gonna wait?
Not yet.
We're going to wait.
We're going to wait to come back next week to listen.
Cliffhanger. I love it. See you guys soon.
Bye.
Shh.